Hi guys, Hari here, doing another first-person VOD-ish thing, I guess. I don't know if I can technically classify this as a first-person VOD. Anyway, in this game I will be playing under my fake account rather than my real account, for justifiable reasons, at least I think so. In this game I will actually be playing Pudge, and this is a request I had from a while ago, and I really am just not a big Pudge fan. So I've never actually really played him, and because of that I consider myself to be a pretty horrible Pudge, and therefore I would not play him on my real account because I would not actually want to screw over my team. Yeah, there's a pause here. Actually, I did call mid. Well, calling mid. I know I sound like such a douche saying that, but basically, I mean, I'm playing on. My name's DotaFan88. It's kind of like a license. You know, Bond has a license to kill on this account. I feel like I have a license to be a douche. But anyway, I mean, the only reason I'm playing on this account right now is just to practice this hero, because basically there was a real game that I was playing, and I was asked if I could play Pudge, and I said I wasn't really comfortable with it, which made me realize I actually do want to become comfortable with playing Pudge in case the team actually wants me to play him occasionally. So I'm basically just practicing playing Pudge on this account. Therefore, I mean, it would kind of be wasted if I couldn't go mid. I mean, yeah, I can play Pudge without going mid, but I feel like I really should go mid in order to have some sort of an impact on a pub game. And I did say it before this guy, but this guy isn't very interested in actually communicating. I feel like there's chat, but maybe can't see it. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I do play it on this fake account rather than the real account because I don't want to screw over my team. You know, I consider myself a decent player in general, but when playing a hero that I'm really not comfortable with, especially one like Pudge, who there's, you know, a really high skill ceiling, I think, and skill has a much larger impact on him than something like, well, I don't know, I was going to say Void, but Void's ults are pretty important. Maybe like Sven. But anyway, or Axe. Yeah, Axe is a pretty good example. I'm not sure what can really save Axe from not being useful. So, yeah, playing on this account I feel a little bit more comfortable in the sense that even if I don't play as well as I possibly could, I should still be playing at an acceptable level for this level of play, to the point where my team shouldn't be totally screwed by the fact that they have me playing Pudge on their team. So yeah, gonna play on this account for that, but I should still be posting a fair number of games in which I play on my actual account in real-ish games. This is, of course, just a pub with me playing by myself. So anyway, taking Pudge, going mid. Don't really have a certain item, like a set item build that I know I want to go. Here I figure I'm going to go for an Urn at some point, especially with the TA on the other team. You know, Urn pretty good at removing refraction charges. So getting one gauntlet, not a terrible decision to go to the Urn later. I don't want to go for the 2 gauntlet thing because I want to have a reasonably timed bottle. And yeah, then other than that, just 3 branches and 1 tango to have some semblance of regen so that I don't get completely harassed out of the lane by this ever-annoying TA. Pudge decent against TA in the sense that Rod is very good at burning off refraction very, very quickly. But at the same time, TA is still, you know, going to crush most melee heroes in 1 versus 1 solo mid situation, especially with a really high damage. Really nice lucky miss there for me. Using Rot to guarantee a few last hits. Unfortunately, with her just deciding to right-click me, that's going to eat through a fair amount of my health. But like I said, I'm trying to just get to my bottle as quickly as possible. That was really painful, though, actually. And yeah, that also just kind of missing there. I just kind of misclicked on that. I clicked on the ground instead of the hero, so I got an attack move rather than a deny. But yeah, using Rot a little bit is reasonable to last hit if you're going for a fast bottle, because, well, I mean, you should be able to recover the health that you lost once you are able to pick up the bottle. Unfortunately, the problem is I have a lot of mana and not really a lot to do with it. I could try to just kill the TA since she is relatively low, but I'm really just afraid of getting melded and just blasted, because TA can just do a ton of burst damage really quickly. So I'm not really going to try to be too aggressive against her. Well, I'm not going to say that I've made that mistake before, but I've seen and I understand it's TA. So I'm just generally going to play a little bit safer. I'm not going to try any, you know, hooking people into the tower nonsense. And actually, yeah, Venno is coming here. So I wanted to get my bottle first because I knew if I ran in without having my bottle, I would just die. But now I can actually just run up next to her, and I use Rot first just to make sure that refraction is off before I actually throw out a hook, because I certainly don't want to hook into refraction. But thanks to Venno, the refraction is off, and I am safe. And so now I actually get a little freedom to free farm, which means, of course, missing last hits, because, well, I'm not very comfortable with Pudge's animation yet, but it's a pretty nice animation, huh? I actually send the courier back to myself here, after I sent it, well, I didn't really send it away, I just had it on auto bring me the bottle, which of course runs it back. But since the Venno was the one to take the rune, which certainly not unhappy with since he ganked mid with it, I am going to need to bottle crow here. And I can send myself some boots when the courier comes back with my bottle as well. Unfortunately, due to being low health and not having any battle charges or any regen left, I am basically going to have to just sit back here. I could go up for last hits. I mean, TA doesn't have any refraction at this point, so there's not really a risk of her being able to kill me, so to speak, but I just don't want to take any more harassment than I have to. And yeah, like I said, just in general not going to go for any... I mean, I know the kind of standard thing for Pudge is to hook people into the tower and try to get kills that way, but I'm just kind of more looking to just soak up experience, get some gold in the laning phase, and then maybe have some hooks later on. You saw that I hooked a creep there just because I had plenty of mana. I knew my bottle was coming back to me and I want to bottle up for health, and otherwise that mana would just be wasted, so why not just take a free last hit using a hook. No real shame in that, since, like I said, I'm not really looking for kills. I mean, I think that hooking a creep pretty much exemplifies my strategy right there. The fact that I would much rather actually just get a CS than try to get any sort of kills. But Venno is roaming back mid again, which should mean that it should be pretty easy. Venno, obviously, kind of a direct counter to TA, should make it pretty easy for us to kill this TA in mid here. So I'm kind of just hanging around over here, but she's doing a good job of positioning herself in such a way that I cannot easily get a hook off. And then I actually see this Axe over here, so I decide, oh, what the hell, I'll just kill Axe instead. And so I do hook him in and then rot him a little bit, and I do have to back off here because I'm pretty low, and unfortunately the Gale misses, which puts Venno in a little bit of danger, but maybe the Gale did hit, I'm not exactly sure. But I knew there's a rune down here since we have a ward top, so I am just going to come grab this rune. Or thinking that I am. I actually mistimed that a little bit. If I'd actually done that just slightly later there, hooking the Fury and TPing in, I actually would have gotten a kill with it, but I failed at that. Thought that the Fury and TP would just be a half-second faster. Argument could be made for waiting until the Furion TP'd in and then hooking immediately then, but I was afraid that he would grab the illusion rune immediately. I actually should have just hooked that Furion there, but I wasn't sure which one was the real one. Obviously, well, not hindsight, but replay is 2020. Now I can see which is actually the illusion, which one's not. But in the real game, I had no idea that that was the real one. I didn't think he would actually position the real one forward like that. Venno does come in and gets a nice double gale here. I'm going to try to look for a hook, but I'm really afraid of those illusions, just kind of trying to block it. So I'm actually just going to run in and eat the TA here. Unfortunately, I am going to actually die. I didn't have enough mana for a hook, which would have allowed me to be a little bit more successful there, and I hadn't been able to bottle crow myself yet. But Venno does end up picking up the second Furion kill. But yeah, as I was saying, I didn't think that the Furion would be silly enough to actually position him, the real one of himself, in the front there, so that's why I actually just wasn't hooking. But yeah, he did do that. So I'm going to, obviously boots, pretty self-explanatory. Next I'm just going for Urn. Like I said, Urn is a pretty standard item on Pudge. I mean, sometimes people get it, sometimes people don't get it. But especially against the TA, where just having any source of a dot will take down refraction that much quicker. Certainly seems like a good choice. Unfortunately, because I shouldn't have actually bought the Urn there, because now I don't actually have enough for a TP to get back to lane, and walking back to lane is really not such a good choice. Just missing out on experience in gold here. Also, I should actually probably have gone for a wand, but for some reason I just decided against it. I'm not really sure why I decided against it, but I was just like, well, wand, I don't need no stinking wand. Would have been nice to have. Wand is pretty much, it's not really an optional item on almost any hero in the game. Here, again, I just hook a creep because I know I'm going to go grab this rune, and I'm going to have full mana from bottling up anyway, so again, just really no reason not to use a little bit of mana. I do have this invis, which I would like to come bottom with. They were actually asking for my help bottom. I kind of want to just kill this creep wave first, though, since they all just backed off. They're not pushing in the tower right now. I don't really know where they are. There's really no reason for me to hurry down there. In case they are still hanging around, obviously I can just go after I kill this creep wave, since nothing's going to be accomplished at this point by being there too early, and I'm, as I've established 1,000 times in my videos, obsessed with efficiency and hate the idea of giving away a lane. So I do a bottle up here. It is nighttime, so I'm not so sure that I was actually seen, so I should be able to come in here and get a pretty easy kill with this invis rune. Really important to try to get one kill now that I picked up my Urn. I mean, it's always important to get kills with Pudge, but especially so now, so that I can actually start my Urn charge charade. We assume that they've actually backed off now, but I'm going to come over here anyway. And actually, we do just see this Lena. At first, I just wanted to come and eat her, but there's an easy hook there, so why not? I do get stunned with Rot on, unfortunately, so I'm going to take a fair amount of damage there. Wanted to actually throw up an Urn charge, I think, on him. And yeah, I'm just going to do that from distance here and soak up some assist experience and gold. And I guess we're going to try to pushing in this tower, although I'm not exactly sure. In fact, I'm not sure what I'm doing running over here. I guess I could decide to sell one of these branches for a TP. because it looked like, oh yeah, TA is just solo pushing in mid, which is kind of not something I really want to happen. So I do kind of think that she goes down to the river there, and so I hooked down. It is nighttime, so I really can't see that far. Yeah, and she's actually going to tease me a little bit about that. Was maybe not the best hook ever, but I was just trying to guess one of the directions she could have gone, and there were really two possibilities there. Although, that hook should have been a little bit further down the river in case she had gone down the river, so I don't think it was necessarily an amazing hook to begin with. Do see this haste rune up here, and haste rune's pretty important. Don't really want to give that one away, so I'm just going to run over towards it here, and should be able to pick it up, and if TA comes, I should actually be able to probably kill her. Although again, like I said, she really can do a lot of damage to me. I unfortunately have both these creeps hitting me at the same time too, and the problem with having the creeps there is I'm really afraid that I can't just hook her, which I would have liked to, and now, yeah, that was actually not a bit of a misplay, just a terrible play there. I think, at least when I played the game, I thought I accidentally clicked on the minimap there, which is why I ran back down, because I really didn't want to run back down until I bottled up more, but I actually, now having watched the replay, I'm not certain that that's what I did. I'm sure someone will actually comment on that, but yeah, regardless, that was just a terrible misplay by me, and I was really embarrassed, as was denoted by my unhappy face, and yeah, I mean, that should have been an easy kill. Like I said, if there hadn't been a creep there, I would have just hooked her right away in the rot, because I would have known that refraction wasn't up, but unfortunately having that one creep there, but I think it died just in time, but I just didn't realize that in time, I guess. But anyway, they are pushing down at this bottom tower again, so I'm just going to TP in. Unfortunately, someone has already TP'd to this tower, which means that I do not have a quick TP, which is really problematic. And yeah, Furion is just going to sprout us off, and that means I'm not going to catch anyone in that direction. That is worth... God, and we lose the mid tower. Worth mentioning, though, is that if you are going to defend a Tier 1 tower, and there is not an extreme urgency, TP to the Tier 2 tower. So that if someone TPs to the Tier 1 tower, they do not have a longer TP. If the fight is immediately going to break out, then you can TP to the Tier 1 tower. But otherwise, if there's, like I said, no urgency, then you should really just TP to the Tier 2. Did try to hook a creep again there, but this time definitely failed at it. Just going to earn up that axe as he runs away, because I had one in charge, and using one will actually net me two. And then we're going to try to push this tower. We have this nice ward here, so I'm actually going to try to hook this TA as she comes in, and I do actually manage to hook her. Didn't actually eat her in time there, and now I'm actually just going to die. I was kind of confused where my team was here. I don't know why they were standing over there, because like we placed that nice ward over on the left there, and I guess I'm just going to switch out a player's perspective for 2 seconds to talk about this. So like basically having this ward here indicates that you actually want to kill the people before they get to the tower, or at least know who's coming in. But one of the advantages is that you can kill people before they get to the tower, and so I assume my team would kind of be there to back me up, but as is often the case, I think maybe they just, they just know that that ward exists, and so someone placed it and didn't really understand how to utilize it. Now, I mean, you could say at the same time it's as much my fault as anything, because I wasn't actually watching the minimap, and I should have realized my team wasn't there with me. But I just kind of assumed they would be. I'm so focused on playing Pudge that I just was like, oh, gotta hook, gotta actually hit a hook for once, and then, especially after I just failed to hook a creep at point-blank range. Real embarrassing. So yeah, maybe wasn't paying as much attention to the minimap as I should have been, and led to that situation. But really, my team should have actually just been there backing me up. As soon as we saw that TA running up with the ward, we should have actually just been in position to kill her, pick her off, which makes taking the tower that much easier. Rather than, like, why would you want to stand behind the creep wave so that you're forced to fight at the tower when you can pick someone off before they get to the tower without a creep wave? Well, actually, her creep wave was coming up, but I mean, it's TA. She's really fragile against a Pudge, so we would have been able to pick her off easily enough. And then take the tower much more easily with one of them dead. But at the same time, if I'd eaten her right away, when I hooked her, maybe it would have been a little bit different, although I'm not so sure that's the case. My team was pretty far out, and Sven would have been coming with a Stormhammer. I'm just going to call it Stormbolt. Stormhammer, that's ridiculous. I'm going to look for another hook here, but really fail that one. Maybe for the best I didn't get that hook after all, because they've actually got 2 people in the jungle there, and we've only got 3 in here total, although, I don't know, we probably still would have been able to get a kill quickly enough. Again, I'm not ever going to try to profess that I am actually good at hooking people. You'll see that whenever possible, I'm just going to avoid trying to set up for hooks and instead just like run up and rot people because it's safer, and I'd rather just take a safe kill than try to make a big play and get a hook kill, or use combat hooks at short range. Because like I said, not super comfortable with Pudge. And so this is certainly by no means a how-to of playing Pudge. It's more just Pudge was a request that people had, and I am fulfilling it. Do pick up my tranquil boots here. pretty much the only thing that could have some variation. And actually, I think we know that Axe is, yeah, in the jungle here, so I'm actually going to see him, and yeah, unfortunately it didn't rot in time, but I can just pop this haste and chase after him, and yeah, he's really not getting away. See, like here, I don't even bother trying to hook first. I'm just going to run up, rot, and ult him, and then I can hook him afterwards if I have to. Yeah, which I can do, actually, and I'm just going to run away with my haste. Could have been a little bit of problematic if Furin did TP and sprout me there, but he canceled. And yeah, I guess that was because my team was actually busy killing him top, or Mirana was. And so I'm able to just get away scot-free. But yeah, as I was saying about not necessarily how to play Pudge, this is just instead me playing Pudge because I had a request, and I think I do an alright job. Like I said, always kind of trying to take more safe kills rather than try anything too risky. See, this this TA has actually put this nice little trap here, which actually, yeah, I was wondering how they had vision of me, and I realized that it's actually a trap. After having watched the replay. It's a clever trap by the TA to put because it's a pretty typical spot for me to be to try to hook. Here I should have actually just turned around and hooked him right away as soon as I saw him TP in. My reaction was a little slow in there because again I'm just not completely sure of myself. I think I'm not sure if I actually Axe is being really aggressive here. I could actually just eat him if I thought I had backup, but I don't have backup, so I'm just gonna run back anyway. I mean, Axe is gonna take a while to get down. It's not like if like TA had blinked in, maybe it would be a little bit different. But I think I'm not sure I talked about this or not in a previous video, but watching Ferrari play Pudge, he was just 100% sure of himself. He was always hooking as soon as he got the opportunity. And I really don't have that confidence playing Pudge, so I cannot do that, which I think is the optimal way to do it. Like, as soon as you see someone, like you see the Axe there, just throw the hook. You see the Lena back when she was at the bottom, just hook immediately, rather than second-guessing yourself, because your first instinct is usually going to be the right one. But anyway, I am going in a little bit too deep. My team, again, kind of far back. And yeah, this is definitely going to lead to my death. Really should learn to pay attention to the minimap. Don't really know what I'm doing here, and yeah, just going to get blinked in on. But my team does eventually come to back me up. I am trying to juke the Lena as much as possible. I'm just going to eat her. I actually wanted to kind of throw out a hook there before I died, but it didn't end up working out. And unfortunately, Sven with his ultimate is going to come in and deal a lot of damage to us. We are 2 for 1 right now, but it's very unlikely that this Earthshaker is actually going to get out. He does stun the Sven, but I mean, Sven's just going to chase after him and then eventually stun him as well. And the Earthshaker will die, unfortunately. But yeah, so kind of lack the capacity to actually just be hooking as quickly as possible. And as far as being so far up by myself, I don't know. I mean, I'm Pudge. I'm a big sack of meat. I'm supposed to be aggressive, right? I don't really know. It's just, I guess, I kind of want to make as much stuff happen as possible with this hero. I mean, it's certainly not a late game hero, even though in theory it is the best scaling hero in the game. And yeah, that was a real risky TP. The problem is I always shift queue myself when I TP, and I shift queued myself down there, and then by the time I'm TPing in, I realize, oh man, there's a Sven and a Fury in there. I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to run up and try to get the deny on this tower, but I'm just a half second too late because actually they catapult. But the good news is there's a Fury in here, and I'm just going to run him down and try to eat him. He does run over to the right, so I just decide to hook him, and yeah, we do end up picking up the kill on that. So I guess it's almost worth it, not denying the tower. I don't know. I mean, denying the tower would have been tough there, but yeah, like I was saying, I didn't anticipate that catapult hit. I thought I would have like a half second sooner, or a half second more, and it came a half second sooner than I thought it would be. So I didn't really get the opportunity to talk about these tranquil boots much. I don't know. There's a lot of options really for what boots you get on a Pudge. I would say it runs the gamut of, well, actually every boots in the game really are possible on Pudge. I would say that of all of them, I would say treads would probably be the worst. And I don't know where the rest fall in. Tranquil boots I like because I have a bottle. If I didn't have a bottle, I would probably go for arcane boots because you really need that mana to kind of do what I was talking about, which is throw out a lot of hooks. But because I have a bottle, I feel pretty confident with going tranquil boots. Tranquil boots will let me regen health a little bit more easily, which A, will let me farm more effectively with rot. B will just make up, or allow me to keep ganking more frequently. Do manage to actually hook a Sven here, but then completely whiff on eating him. Really got to work on that, but do end up killing him anyway, although the Earthshaker pays for it with his life. And I'm going to start running away now, and I ping and ask for help, but it looks like no one's really that interested in helping me. So I just kind of keep running. I wanted to hook, but yeah, I kind of got juked by the Axe there, and now I'm going to be in a fair amount of trouble. I'm still running. Unfortunately, my tranquil boots are broken now, so I don't have a lot of movement speed. But just going to keep running as long as possible in the hope that my team will eventually come here. And And yeah, I am still going to die, but it looks like a few of them should die now too, as they have gone in pretty deep. Unfortunately, my team could have come a little bit sooner, and maybe that would have been turned around a little more effectively. But I am Pudge, so I just buy back immediately, throw up an urn charge on this axe, and kill him. And then I'm going to look to hook this TA, and yeah, I managed to pick that up as well. Yeah, as far as Pudge, I mean, you know, buying back this early in the game doesn't cost a whole lot, and Pudge is not super item dependent, so it's not, I think, the biggest deal in the world if you do buy back, as long as you pick up a couple kills with it, and that is exactly what happened. But yeah, so Tranquil Boots are going to give me more movement speed to move around the map, which is going to allow me to get from point A to point B to gank more easily and set up my positioning a little bit better for hooks, which of course I'm not going to do many of, but who cares. Yeah, just selling all these branches now, because if you're not going to make a wand, well, why have the branches on you? I wanted to buy my cloak and my Ring of Health there, but actually no time to talk about that. Just gonna run over and eat this Sven right away, basically to stop his DPS, and then I just throw up an urn charge on him. Didn't bother hooking at that close range because there's too many creeps around, and just didn't want to risk it. But yeah, we kill him and take the tower. Just disable. I mean, it's always risky running up close to Sven, but he'd already thrown out the Storm Bolt, and just eating him as quickly as possible to prevent him from doing that insane DPS is pretty important. So pick up my ring. A little bit more about Tranquil Boots. No, not really. I think I kind of covered. So I would say Tranquil Boots or Arcane Boots are the two most common, and Phase Boots is kind of a possibility as well. Phase Boots kind of suits well the playstyle that I like for the Pudge, which is running in and... Oops, I actually forgot to turn off notifications on Steam. Normally I remember that. I'll take care of it in a second. Or maybe, hopefully no one will keep messaging me. God, sometimes there's just always something to forget, whether it's water or notifications, etc. Anyway, we have an invis rune, so we're kind of looking to gank someone here. But yeah, the phase boots kind of facilitate the just run in and rot and eat people a little bit better than the hooking thing, I guess. And I haven't really been doing a lot of hooking, so it would be reasonable that I would like phase boots, but yeah, here I just kind of wanted the Tranquil Boots. Plus I was a little bit far behind, so Tranquil Boots, it's just a cheap option. Yeah, and then after that I've gone for the cloak. I mean, picking up a cloak is pretty much always a good idea, whether you're going to turn it into a hood and a pipe and eventually a pipe or not. Having a cloak just because, you know, you're rotting, which deals magic damage to you, so just reducing the amount of magic damage you take is always important, since, you know, no matter what, you're going to be dealing magic damage to yourself, if not including the other team, which in this case they have a fair amount of magic damage, although not a ton, but with Lena and Axe, and to a lesser extent Sven and Fury, it certainly doesn't hurt. A Vanguard would have been reasonable, but with the negative armor from TA and the amount of just pure raw DPS from Sven, I wouldn't feel that it was that effective. Yeah, actually, see this Storm Bolt coming in here. They actually group up on me, which unfortunately means that more than just I get stunned. I am going to back out of here for a second, just because, again, don't want to be directly next to Sven. And then I see the Sven and can hook him out, actually hook him right into an arrow, which works out pretty well. So yeah, anyway, in a situation like that, I just want to get away from the Sven as quickly as possible. I don't actually know that this TA is sitting here invis. I guess. I can't remember exactly. And then yeah, saw her blink away at the last second. I guess I should have been paying a little bit closer attention, then maybe I would have seen her invis up there. Yeah, so just wanted to get away from Sven as quickly as possible. There was too much going on just to try to eat him in the middle of that fight. I probably just got melted, so I just backed out and then tried to hook him out and disable him and hopefully kill him, which is exactly what happened. But yeah, so I think I kind of covered hood. Well, I mean, my cloak is good, and to that same extent, hood is a good item. So I would say it's not necessarily core, but it's very close to core. I mean, it's pretty solid item. Other possible choices for things you might want to go early on would be Force Staff. Force Staff just kind of helps with the positioning and helps just kind of Force Staff yourself in, rot and eat people, or Force Staff yourself somewhere and hook, you know, Matrix style, if you guys have watched that Dota Cinema Top 10. But yeah, I'm not really going for that this early on, just because I don't feel that comfortable with my hooking, and, well, I don't know. I'm actually in just a terrible position here. I have no idea why I'm this far up by myself. I kind of want to set up on the hill and just hook someone out, but instead I'm just going to basically get myself killed, or at least I should. But fortunately we have a really kind Marana who is willing to ult for me and save my life. And this should actually, with two of my teammates coming in here, we could actually considerably set up for some sort of a fight here. The Panda is kind of unreliable, though. You never really know what he's going to do, because, well, he doesn't really communicate with us much and kind of goes off on his own. But looks like he is willing to commit here, so we are going to run in. Unfortunately, Marana is kind of in a rough spot already, so I'm just going to run in here, try to look to, well, hook and eat someone right away. I haven't actually eaten her yet because, well, she was so close to dead after hooking, so I'm going to run over here and eat this TA just so that she doesn't kill my nice little Venomancer there. Unfortunately, I don't have an urn charge for the Veno, and yeah, Sven is actually going to start just blasting me. So I'm just kind of running around here. I wanted to go up, but I actually got blocked by the trees. But then Earthshaker comes in, and yeah, we are just able to clean all of them up. And yeah, it worked out pretty well in the end. Unfortunately, losing Rana, who was there a little bit earlier. But yeah, maybe we should react a little bit faster. I guess she kind of expected us to go in, but you know, pubs, you can never really know how it's going to go. So her mistake. Oops. I haven't addressed it too much, but Urn at this point in the game, well, I haven't really used Urn very effectively on TA at all, but haven't really had too much difficulty killing TA in a couple of these fights, and, you know, I'm kind of overwhelmed anyway by just playing Pudge in general, so I'm not focusing as much as I could on as effective utilization of items as possible. But beyond that, just getting as many Urns on teammates is really important. Especially, you know, when you have someone who's as nice as this Venomancer who's actually playing support, which, big shout out to this Meow whatever guy. I will give, I mean, he's not going to care. Meow question mark, because he's never going to actually see this video. But, regardless, thank you to him. I love any player who ever plays support in pubs, and I do it a fair amount, although certainly not when playing on this account, because like I said, if I was going to play support in pubs, I would just play on my real account, because I'm pretty confident in my capacity to play support. I actually see this Axe here. I'm kind of a little hesitant to hook him up right away, but my team says go for it, so I go for it. Trying to eat him across, yeah, this Fisher kind of blocks me out, but I do manage to eat him there in the end anyway, and then I earn up this Veno. I forget to turn off Rot for a couple seconds there, but you do turn it back on now. Really afraid to get next to this Sven, since I don't have my ultimate. Yeah, I'm just actually going to die here. Unfortunately, we were kind of just a few of us up. Now the Brewmaster does decide to come in. Like I said, he's kind of an unpredictable fellow, but he's going to clean up some kills with his ultimate. Would have been nice if he cleaned up those kills while we were there, but, well, I guess can't be choosers, right? No vision for the Cyclone, so the Furion is just going to TP out. But yeah, so hooking an Axe, maybe not the most effective decision ever, since, you know, it basically, I mean, Axe buys a blink because he wants to get in front of your team, but here he's not in the middle of everyone, it's just me, and it's kind of like tanky hero on tanky hero, and it's just kind of a form of initiation at the same time, because they have to come defend the Axe, and our team was in a position where they're not all clumped up, so it wasn't a terrible initiation. I was kind of a little bit slow. In general, I've been really slow, actually, this game, with eating people after I've hooked them, partially because I guess I'm just so uncertain, and again, this kind of ties in with that whole, what I was talking about with Ferrari thing, that you really just shouldn't be uncertain about, I mean, you should be confident in yourself. Sounds like a motivational speaker at this point, but, I mean, the reason why I'm so slow to eat people after I hook is because I don't expect myself to actually hook them, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, and, well, if I don't expect myself to try to hook someone, why am I trying to hook in the first place? So I should pretty much always count on the fact that I'm going to hook people, and in the future, actually, and again, this is actually why watching your own replays is really important, and I love doing these videos when I have reasonable games to do them of, because I feel like it helps me, well, it helps me because, you know, I feel loved because 100 people watch my videos, but at the same time, oh, there's Alina there. See, and this is a perfect example. I don't actually go to hook her right away, I just kind of go up to rot her and eat her, and in the end, I actually don't even need to eat her. So that's kind of the difference between me and other Pudge players that I know who would just, like, immediately when they saw that person hook. And you see here I actually run up to Invis before walking back down here because I think there's a chance that there's probably a ward here. I think that's what she was coming to place. Actually do see this Furion down here. And really just want to get him. Again, just not trying to hook first because I don't want to break my invis, but eventually decide, well, there's not really much of a choice in the matter. Sven is actually going to come in here and stun me. I do try to get an Urn up on that Furion as quickly as possible, and yeah, I do earn him and manage to rot him a little bit, so I think he's going to die. Oh, no, and I didn't actually see where he was hooking in time, or teleporting in time, because of the Sprout, so I just barely missed the hook. I think missed micro by me. I could have probably done that a little bit sooner, but worked out anyway. So what I was talking about, oh yeah, is this just that basically you should, I feel like with Pudge you should always consider, and you know you watch some Pudge players where they hook and they immediately start rotting anyway, just anticipating that they're going to hit the hook. And if they miss the hook, oh so what, they lost a little bit of health, not a really big deal. But the important thing is that they were set up and prepared for them to actually hit the hook, which is really what you should be doing. Like you should play like you're going to succeed, because otherwise there's not really any reason to play, or to do these things. So, yeah, that kind of addresses that point that I wanted to make, however haphazardly. At this point, with this much HP regen, I mean, yeah, regenerating 22 per second, although I guess I have his mech nearby, which is giving me a little bit of that, but I can safely just rot creeps. Yeah, I was actually hooking the TP in there, but intelligently enough did cancel the TP. You see that I've actually turned my hood into a pipe. I think it's a pretty natural progression. I would say 9 times out of 10 you do want to turn your hood into a pipe, just because pipe is such a nice item for the team. as well as not being terrible for you. Yeah, again here, just kind of second-guessing myself for a while, and there I was trying to go over and eat the guy, but the pathing from the Fisher was going to screw me up a little bit. I should have actually earned this Lena before starting to rot and eat people there, which is actually leading to the Earthshaker dying, so that is 100% my fault. But again, I was just kind of focusing on trying to eat someone. I was kind of a little thrown off just by getting messed up with the Earthshaker Fisher messing with my pathing, but should always pay attention to things like that. And you'll notice I didn't use the pipe at all. Part of this comes from, you know, it's easier to use items that you're familiar with, and I'm just not much. I don't play heroes who get pipes very often. I don't really play strength heroes. Certainly don't play Pudge. And that's not because I don't consider strength heroes to be good. It's just because it's just not my type of hero. It's not the role that I usually play. But yeah, should be using it certainly more often. As I was saying, 9 times out of 10 I think it's worth getting because it's just here goes the panda. Actually pops his ultimate just to chase after this Varian, but it looks like the Varian's going to TP out anyway, so I don't really know what the panda's going to do now, but we're going to, in the meantime, focus on taking this tier 3 tower down here. That's what we should actually be doing. Again, just a half second too slow on trying to get that hook there, and I'm just going to run out of the base now. Axe does just barely miss the call, so I should be okay. I'm just going to keep running away. I can't hook out the Venomancer if I have to, but I decide actually I can just pipe us up and go in here. I do start eating the Lena. I could actually just hook her, but instead I'm just going to throw... Oh, no. Actually, don't use my Urn Charge. I thought I was going to use an Urn Charge on her. And yeah, actually here I'm just going to try to kill all these guys. Unfortunately, the TA is going to come in and kind of make that difficult for me. And again, I didn't actually use my Urn Charge. Really should work on remembering to use that. But yeah, pipe, nice teamfight item. Helps your team a lot. And yeah, I'm kind of wondering now, I was like, wait, where did he go? But now he's back, and he's just going to pick up that Sven kill. He was a funny guy. And then Rana's there as well. Is she going to arrow? No, she's not going to. Yeah, so pipe, good item. Been saying that for like 5 minutes now, but yeah, reasonable pickup. Again, not really used to using it, so I'm not going to use it as frequently as I should, but you should probably still pick it up. I think it's pretty reasonable. Other than that, like I said, I think a 4-staff is pretty good, pretty reasonable as well. Aghanim's is real nice because, you know, just giving that health gain, especially if you've gotten a fair amount of Flesh Heap strength, which I think I'm actually looking at it right now in the game itself, and I have 41 strength from that, so that means an Aghanim's for me is actually going to gain me a lot of health, which is really nice in these fights. They actually hit the arrow on Axe. It's not really a key or a sign that you want to start going in. Like, oh, you arrowed Axe, like, while he's stunned for 5 seconds. You can go do not very much damage to him. Varian is going to pick up this tower, unfortunately. But Earthshaker is not going to let him get away with that. I actually stopped watching here in the real game, but I'm going to just watch this for you because I'm pretty sure he just used... Yeah. So the Varian actually brings all his trees over, which may not be the best strategy ever when facing an Earthshaker. But yeah, the reason why I switched to free camera for 2 seconds there was because I actually did not watch that in the real game, and you would have just been watching me buy items, which is boring. Another advantage of having gone with Tranquil Boots is that I can disassemble them and make real boots at some point, which in this case are going to be Travels. I feel like Travels is a pretty nice item to have in general. It's going to let me be with my team more frequently, although I think I don't use them very much at all in this game. I actually see the fighting going on down here, so I guess I'm thinking about TPing, but no, actually that's not fighting. That's just Marana way too far forward, being a little overconfident. But yeah, so... And Travels are especially nice when you're playing against a Furion because he's going to try to split push and you can just TP one of the creeps, and it's really going to actually be pretty difficult for a Furion to get away. Well, a decent Furion actually can maybe surround you with Treants while he tries TPing and make it difficult for you to hook. So, I don't know, maybe not super effective against him, but still should at least reduce the effectiveness of him split pushing since I can just go rot creeps. And so I go over here because I decided, yeah, I'm going to buy an Aghanim's. They have a fair amount of damage coming out, and like, you know, being able to eat the Sven and keep him out of the fight for, what is it, like 3 seconds, I assume is the duration of my ultimate, yeah, 3 seconds on heroes. Being able to, I haven't gotten into this the entire game, oops, sorry. Being able to take out the Sven for 3 seconds is really nice, but if the TA is beating on you, you're really gonna be hurting, keeping Rod up like that, and so, or similarly, if being able to take out the TA and have the Sven beating on you, although you really don't want that to happen too much, but still, having the Aghanims will make it that much easier for me to remain eating someone in a fight, especially with Ra on. And it's just a nice, I mean, you know, Point Booster is a nice item. All the plus 10 to all stats from Aghanims is nice. So Aghanims is just a nice item. On most heroes they can pick it up. It's usually a reasonable pickup. And here it just kind of, well, solves the problem of me not being able to figure out exactly what it is that I want. Panda is in a little bit of trouble here. I actually was thinking about hooking him out, but instead I just pipe up to make sure that he's not going to die from the axe Battle Hunger, and just hooking Alina here. Do actually get stunned by the Sven, but I actually, oh yeah, I think I earned charge the Panda, I'm not really sure. Just trying to catch someone. Hook is not on cooldown. I mean, it came up on cooldown, but just as he TP'd out. But anyway, we should be able to push or take Roche or do something now. I mean, 2 of them are dead and none of us are. And Panda's ult should be up soon, so it doesn't really matter too much. So he doesn't have a whole lot of health. Plus, I can't earn him when he's not tanking a tower. I think I was thinking about it. And I was like, no, let's free this guy. He's a douche. He doesn't talk to us. I think, yeah, Venom was actually going to go back there. I was saying, yeah, we should just take that tier 2 tower first, and then we can, you know, go and Roche. Unfortunately, Marana and, I mean, the Earthshaker and the Venom were basically communicating with me all game. The Marana and the Panda not so much, although I would say that Marana was still a little bit more helpful in the sense that, you know, she saved my life with an ult once, and that's all I'm going to remember, than the Panda was. But Panda is going to head on over here. Fortunately, I have an epic metric. I wanted to cuss, but then I was going to say metric something ton or an epic something ton. Why am I going to say? I mean, I cuss all the time in these, but it really is best to lay off. But a ton of earn charges, so I can just earn charge myself up while tanking this Roche. And I do have 3,200 health, as well as a ton of HP regen. Yeah, 20 HP per second. With the mech again, though, so it's unreliable. Damn you. Still, a lot of HP regen is basically the moral of the story, so we can tank Roche pretty effectively. Even if I don't do a ton of DPS to him, we still get him down slowly with the wards from Venom. And I do get an Aegis. I would not normally take this Aegis on Pudge. I think Pudge is a bad carrier for an Aegis. But at the same time, Marana is not there, and yeah, that she's really the only candidate I think I would give it to more likely. You're not going to put an Aegis on Panda. The only reason you would ever do that, I guess, is if Panda, you know, gets caught and killed, then it brings him back up and he can ult. But it really, if Panda has Blink, that shouldn't really ever happen. He should be a bit more careful than that. I mean, if he gets caught, it's not likely he's getting caught on your side of the map, but it really matters too much. If he can, he should probably be able to buy back, etc. Just camping out a rune there, but one wasn't going to spawn. So I'm going to head towards top to grab it, but little did I know that it has actually already been taken by the other team, it would appear. Rana actually up there dying, but she has just buyback money. We kind of actually, I think, want to go finish. I think I said some chat, but it's actually not showing up. I guess because it was team chat, and team chat doesn't show up when you're watching a replay, unfortunately. Kind of communicating with my team, saying, well, I mean, yeah, they certainly have better late game than us, so we really should try to just go finish the game. I mean, you know, Panda not really a late game here. Marana is decent late game, but not incredible. And again, like I said, Pudge, although in theory the best scaling hero in the game, in practice not really going to be the case. And meanwhile, they have Sven and TA, and Sven, you know, gets pretty insane late game. TA, pretty solid as well. And Furion, nothing to sneeze at either, especially because of how difficult it would make the game for us. I'm just going to go over here and rot these creeps. I think I was trying to look for an angle on the Furion, but it wasn't really going to happen. But just going to get rid of those treants so that he cannot block my hooks that effectively. Looks like Sven is going to stun. Marana does not have buyback, so we really don't want to lose her. I was looking for you know, eating the TA there, but it just wasn't going to happen. Unfortunately, this Fisher is making it difficult for me to maneuver down there. But our Earthshaker has managed to land something of a nice ult. Here I am just going to come in over and hook the Sven, and then I just barely can't eat the Furion, but I do manage to get an earn up on him. And so now I actually still have my eating left up to eat someone like this TA. Unfortunately, I canceled it almost immediately. I'm not sure exactly, maybe I ate a creep accidentally there instead, or I just wasn't sure that I had actually eaten her, or was just clicking too quickly because I have free and APM. Don't really know. But yeah, the fight worked out regardless of mine not contributing a whole lot in the beginning. Just picking off a couple low HP heroes and helping Venom kill that TA. But that is 2 sets of racks, which puts us in a pretty good position now. And with the amount of regen I have at almost 4k health, without having a heart or anything like that, I should be able to regen while tanking this tower, and should allow us to just kill this and hopefully end the game. And then just rotting creeps because I can. Although they're not going down quite as quickly as I would have liked. It shouldn't be rotting anymore for just one creep. But yeah, this is going to be the death of this tower here. Is that a Manta, I guess, on the Venom? Yeah, that was a Manta on the Venom. And I missed myself actually hooking someone from a long distance, yeah. Oh, for shame. I should just redo this entire video now, actually, because that's really embarrassing. I actually managed to hook someone, and I don't even show it. I guess it kind of jumps the shark a little bit on the whole idea of first-person VODs if I'm actually switching perspectives. So I should avoid doing that too much. But curiosity gets the best of me. Yeah, but at least I can show you. I actually think that I have my ult up for some reason here, but I guess it is actually not up. I guess I hadn't realized that I had used it in that last fight, so I'm just sitting there trying to ult that axe and doing absolutely nothing, which is just... And I realized it in the game, too, that this is what was happening, but I actually tried to hook there because, I'm a pro and I know that you can actually hook through Panda ult copies. I didn't know that at all. But yeah, I guess we're going to do a little bit of fountain diving now, but no, we're actually not. Maybe we are, maybe we are, maybe we are. No, I'm tanking way too much from that fountain. Although, I mean, I'm Pudge and I can hook people out because, that's what every pro Pudge does, in case you guys didn't know that. And, yeah, that's actually going to be the game. I didn't realize it was quite this one-sided. I felt like it was, I guess it was a little bit closer early on, and then we kind of gained a significant lead, thanks to my amazing Pudge play. But anyway, to whoever it was that requested this Pudge video, certainly a significant while ago, I hope that you still watch my videos, and I hope you enjoy this. This was just for you. But anyway, I will have a few more videos coming out relatively soon. I actually got a couple games worth recording, so hopefully this won't be the only one in the near future, and you guys can enjoy. So anyway, as usual, thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.